2004, 2006 Toyota Sienna automatic transmission, all-wheel drive. I'm gonna be replacing the front brake pads and rotors here. Pretty similar for other years before and years after. Very similar, basically the same process. And first, don't forget to open the brake fluid reservoir. And taking advantage that I already took the tire out, I'm gonna inspect the suspension and the entire area here that I'm gonna be working on. Just to make sure if something else needs to be replaced or everything is fine. And these ones are 21mm lug nuts, by the way. And this sway bar link is shot, so it needs to be replaced too. It's gonna be covered in another video. The lower control arm bushing here is all cracked. It's not good. It's all messed up, so it needs to be replaced too. It's covered in another video also. Also inspect the lower ball joint here all the time when you do this job. Also visually inspect the strut here, see if it looks good. And also inspect the ball joint here and the tie rod. This is the outer tie rod here. Visually inspect the boot right there and the inner tie rod. See if it's not cracked, because the grease comes out usually if it's cracked. The boot and the axle also here, but everything looks good here. Okay, and now the brakes and rotors. I turned the steering wheel to this side and now have more space, as you can see. And two 14mm bolts here for the brake caliper, as you can see. Okay, I'm gonna tie this caliper here on the strut without stretching or twisting this brake line, because these brake lines are very sensitive to get damaged if you twist it or if you stretch it too much. 17mm bolt and another 17 here. Alright, when you take this bolts out, make sure that that thread is good. See, it's all scratched here. I'm gonna spray brake cleaner. And I'm gonna be using a metal brush to clean here. Any grease here, I'm gonna apply here. Even if the rotors are gonna stay here for so long, they're not gonna get stuck here. Sometimes they really get stuck. Not always, but sometimes. So, but if you put any grease here, this is very clean, and you apply any grease, that's not gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna put this like this for now. The opposite side. They come with a small layer of oil. The oil has to be taken out because that's gonna, if you leave it like that, that's gonna shorten the life of the brake pads and also from the rotor. Brake cleaner. Do not take this, do not touch this surface after you have cleaned it, because then you're gonna put your oily fingers again, dirty fingers, so that is not good. And we clean the other side. Vamos a limpiar el otro lado. Okay, in the next step, I'm gonna be applying any grease here. The rim will not get stuck here, even if it will be there for a few years. Some people have a very hard time to get that tire off because it gets stuck here. But if you do this, most likely it will not get stuck. This step is about how to check this the guide bolts here, guide pins bolts for the brake caliper bracket. Now, if you take this out by hand, they are in very good condition, both of them. If you're not able to take them out by hand, it's time either to be replacing it. It's time to replacing it. before they get stuck, because once they get stuck, they cause damage to the either to the rotor or to the brake pads. And these ones are very good. See, I was able to take it out, and when you push it back, make sure you don't have wrinkles here on the boot, because that's gonna rip off the boot. Very good. Now we're gonna check the other one here. Very good. Once you push it back, make sure no wrinkles again. If it's possible, move it like that. Beautiful. See? If you want to take them out and grease them inside, that's up to you. It depends on how they you found them. But these ones are very smooth to take out. Okay, the next step, clean here with a metal brush, and then apply a compound here that sometimes it comes with the brake pads. They both went all the way by hand. This is another thing that if it doesn't happen, but if these have the small bracket here to let you know when the pads here is getting too low and start hitting the rotor here, so that's a good thing. In this case, these ones don't have it, but that's why it's always a good idea to check them periodically. Don't wait for this to be too low, the pad here, and do not touch this surface with your dirty fingers at all. Neither this here. Visually inspect this boot here. If this boot has a lot of cuts all around, and if it looks deteriorated, if it looks bad, it's time to replace the brake caliper. The life of the driver is here based on the brake system. In this case, this one looks very good, in very good condition. I'm gonna protect the boot a little bit here. Some silicone compound, some a little bit of grease. Make sure inside the piston there is no rust, loose rusty or something. All right, the bolt here, the 14mm bolt, this one and this one here. The next step here is this is the tire here, this is the rim. I turn it to the other side. If this looks too bad here, it's a good idea to clean it with a metal brush and spray it. In this case, it looks dirty, but it's not bad at all. Applying anti-seize grease here to be 100% positive that this is not gonna get stuck, even if they don't take the tire out in a long time. Remember that I already put it on applying the rotor too. Now the next step is checking the thread of these lug nuts. Make sure these lug nuts are in very good condition before placing them in. Now sometimes I have seen some people that one of these lug nuts is not good, and they still put it in only because they have an emergency or they need to drive the vehicle. But then becomes a problem. Sometimes it goes by force. Never put these things by force. I always put them by hand. Also, I should have mentioned this before. This is part of this too. always visually inspect the stats. Usually when everything is fine, this come out very good with they don't give you the fight because the stat is good and this is good. Now I'm positive that they all went inside by hand enough, so now I can use the impact gun. Okay, after I'm done here right now, the next and most important thing to do is do not place the shifter in any gear. It's dangerous. The car will not stop because remember the piston and the brake caliper has been retracted. It has to come back again. It has to come out again. So do not move the vehicle to any gear, reverse or drive, without doing this. Okay, right now, okay, now the car is running. I'm gonna go ahead and pump the brake about 10 times without putting it in any gear. It has to be in park. I'm gonna come here. Make sure the fluid, the brake fluid is in the right level, el fluid. Okay, now it's safe to move this car to any gear, to driver, and no problem. If you think this video was helpful for you, please consider to subscribe to my channel. Thank you and God bless you all.